In this video I carry out an exercise to see whether I could get the weight of my e-bike down below 10 kilograms.
In June 2023 I purchased an Orbea Gain M30. That's a carbon framed e-bike fitted with Shimano 105 equipment. It was a 2021 model. Out of the box it weighed in at just under 13 kilograms. Quite light for an e-bike, but I still wasn't satisfied, so I set about lightening it some more. The video in the top right shows the changes that I made, which brought the weight down to just under 11.5 kilos. I further speculated that by spending an extra modest sum, I could bring the weight down to just under 11 kilos. In this video, I'm going to pretend I'm part of the marketing department, so I'm going to remove all cost and practicality constraints. We'll start with the Groupset, or rather just the brifters and the gear changers. This is because I've already lightened the other Groupset components. The upgrade is expensive and saves just 80 gram, but I did say I was ignoring cost and practicality constraints. As I detailed in the earlier video, one of the biggest weight savings that I made was associated with the wheels. If I use these tubular rims instead of the tubeless rims, I can save roughly 80 gram per wheel. If I shod these with Vittoria Chrono CS tubular tyres at about 175 gram each, once I take into account the adhesive tape, that's about a 50 gram saving per wheel. In total, that's about another 250 gram reduction. In the bike cockpit area, I've already changed the brifters, however I can go further. I can swap out these riser bars that I've been using for these super light carbon bars. That saves me around 113 gram. I can also swap out the original Orbea stem and associated parts, which come in at a relatively heavy 300 gram. If I replace it with this carbon fibre stem and Garmin out front mount, that saves around a further 100 gram. So that's another 210 gram of weight saved. There are a few more little things I could do, like removing a few more links from the chain, trimming the handlebars and the seat pin a bit further, but to be honest, this wouldn't come to much more than say 100 gram. So that's it, I've reached my final bike weight. At the outset of this video, I was hoping to get the total projected mass below 10 kilograms. I only got to 10.33 kilos, so obviously I failed. I would expect that if I spent more time researching components, I could get that mass down a bit further. But to be honest, I think getting below 10 kilos would be a real struggle. Okay, let's look at this from a slightly different angle. Mahler, who make the X35 system that's fitted to my bike, claims its mass adds 3.5 kilos to a bike. So if I take the mass of the e-bike system off of the theoretical mass of this bike, so it's 10.33 kilos minus 3.5 gives 6.83 kilos. So the underlying bike weighs in under 7 kilos. Now by any standards, that is a light bike. So reducing the mass of this current bike below 10 kilos is pretty much impossible. The newer Mahler e-bike system, the X20, is reportedly 300 gram less than the X35. Hence one of the newer Orbea Gains fitted with that X20 system could, at least in theory, get much closer to that 10 kilo target.
In that earlier video, without making too many compromises, I managed to get the mass of my e-bike down to just under 11 kilos. In this video, I threw away some of the practicalities to see whether I could get the mass down to under 10 kilos. I failed, and that's because I was bumping up against the practical lower limit for any acoustic bike of less than 7 kilos. Now, the only reason I carried out this exercise was because of curiosity. I didn't actually want or need to reduce the weight of my e-bike, and at 11.5 kilos it doesn't really affect my performance or the enjoyment of riding the bike. So with that, I am happy.